Have you ever felt like the room is full but you're still alone? People around you, conversations happening, life moving forward, but inside you feel like you're on an island, separated from everyone and everything? Or maybe your room actually is empty. Maybe the people you thought would stay have moved on. The friends who used to call don't anymore. The family you counted on feels distant. And now, when you look around, you realize something that's both terrifying and strangely peaceful at the same time. You have no one but God. If that's where you are, I need you to hear this. You're not abandoned. You're not forgotten. You're not being punished. What feels like isolation might actually be invitation. An invitation into something deeper. Something most men never experience because they never get this quiet, this stripped down, this alone. When a man has no one but God, he's standing on holy ground. It doesn't feel holy. It feels heavy. But stay with me, because what God does in the silence changes. Let's be real about what this feels like. When you have no one but God, the weight of it sits on your chest. You wake up and there's no one to text. No one checking on you. No one who really knows what you're going through. You handle your struggles alone. You celebrate your wins alone. You process your pain alone. And the hard part? You start wondering if it's your fault. Did you push people away? Did you become too much? Too broken? Too different? The questions circle in your mind, and the silence doesn't give you answers. It just gives you more space to think. But here's what I want you to understand. Being alone doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes, it means something is happening in you. Think about David. Before he wore a crown, he lived in caves. Psalm 142 captures one of those moments. I cry to you, Lord, I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge, no one cares for my life. David felt it. The weight, the loneliness, the desperation of having no one. Or look at Elijah. After calling down fire from heaven, after defeating 450 prophets of Baal, he ran into the wilderness and told God, I've had enough. I'm alone. I'm the only one left. Even Jesus experienced it. In his darkest hour in Gethsemane, his disciples fell asleep. On the cross, he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? If you feel alone, you're in the company of giants. You're walking a biblical path. And that path, as painful as it is, end up alone with God. Powerful. Why does this happen? Why do men end up stripped of everyone, standing alone before God? There are three main reasons. Reason 1. Life's transitions strip relationships away. Life doesn't stand still. You grow. You change. You move into new seasons, and not everyone can come with you. The friends from your past might not understand your present. The people who knew you at your lowest might not recognize you at your breakthrough. You evolve, your priorities shift, your purpose becomes clearer, and sometimes that growth creates distance. It's not that you abandon people. It's that God is moving you forward, and not everyone is called to the same destination. Relationships that were meaningful in one season might not be meant for the next. And that's okay. It's painful, but it's purposeful. You can't hold on to every person and still follow where God is leading. Sometimes He asks you to walk forward even when it means walking alone for a while. Reason 2. Pain teaches us to withdraw and protect. Let's talk about the wounds, the betrayals, the disappointments, the times you opened up and got hurt, the times you trusted and got burned, the times you loved and got left. Pain is a powerful teacher. It teaches you to guard your heart, to keep your struggles to yourself, to stop expecting people to understand, to build walls so high that no one can climb over, not even the people who genuinely care. You tell yourself you're being strong, you're being independent, you're handling it, but what you're really doing is isolating. You're withdrawing not just from people who hurt you, but from everyone. And in that withdrawal, you start carrying burdens you were never meant to carry alone. Proverbs 18 verse 1 says, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. Isolation born from pain doesn't protect you. It slowly suffocates you. It keeps you locked in cycles you can't break on your own. But here's the redemption in it. When pain isolates you from people, it can also drive you toward God. When there's no one else to turn to, you turn to Him. And sometimes that's exactly where He wanted you all along. Reason 3. God intentionally clears the room for purpose. This is the one that's hardest to accept, but it's the most important. Sometimes God removes people from your life on purpose. Not because He's cruel. Not because He's punishing you. But because He's preparing you for something those people can't help you with. He clears the room so you can hear Him. He removes distractions so you can focus. He isolates you so He can have your full attention, because what He wants to build in you requires undivided focus. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before God called him at the burning bush. Joseph spent years in prison, forgotten by everyone except God. Paul went to Arabia for 3 years after his conversion, alone with God, being taught, being transformed. Isolation isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's preparation. God isn't removing people to hurt you. He's clearing space to shape you, to speak to you, to reveal things to you that you can't see in the crowd. And when he's done, when the season is complete, you'll walk out different, stronger, clearer, ready for what's next. But first, you have to be in isolation. Alone with him. So what happens when it's just you and God? What do you discover in the silence? 3 powerful truths. Truth 1. You meet your real self without masks. When everyone else is gone, you can't perform anymore. You can't pretend. You can't hide behind who people think you are or who you've been trying to be. It's just you. Raw. Unfiltered. Exposed. And in that exposure, something powerful happens. You start to see yourself the way God sees you. Not through the lens of your achievements. Not through the filter of your failures. Not through the opinions of others. But through his eyes, loved, seen, known, and called. David wrote in Psalm 139, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar." When it's just you and God, there's no more hiding. No more pretending. And that vulnerability, as terrifying as it feels, becomes the place where real healing begins. You stop running from who you are. You stop being ashamed of your weaknesses. You stop pretending you have it all together. And in that honesty, God meets you. He doesn't reject you. He restores you. He takes the broken pieces you've been hiding and starts putting them back together. Isolation strips away the mask. And underneath it, you find the man God created you to be. Truth 2. You finally hear God's voice above the noise. Here's the honest truth. Most of us can't hear God clearly because we're surrounded by too many other voices. Friends giving advice. Family giving opinions. Social media feeding comparison. The world telling you who to be and what to chase. But when everyone else is silent, when the noise fades, when it's just you, God's voice becomes the loudest thing in your life. You start hearing him in scripture, in prayer, in the stillness of the morning, in the quiet of the night. And slowly, his voice becomes more familiar than any other. Jesus said in John 10 verse 27, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me." But you can't listen if you're surrounded by noise. You can't follow if you can't hear. Isolation teaches you to tune into God's frequency, to recognize his voice, to distinguish his leading from the clutter of everyone else's expectations. And once you learn to hear him clearly, you never walk confused again. You walk confident. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one who does. Truth 3. You forge unshakable, tested faith. When you have no one to call, you learn to call on God. When you have no one to lean on, you learn to lean on him. And when you walk through the fire with nothing but his presence, your faith becomes unshakable. You're not relying on people's encouragement anymore. You're not dependent on perfect circumstances. You've been to the bottom and you've discovered God is there. You've been alone and you've learned he is enough. That kind of faith doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from having everything together. It comes from walking through the valley and realizing he never left your side. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." The man who's walked through darkness with God doesn't fear the dark anymore. He knows who holds the light. When you come out of isolation, you come out different. You come out with a faith that can't be shaken by opinions, circumstances, or setbacks. Because you've been tested and you've seen God prove himself. So how do you survive this season? How do you stand when you're standing alone? First, get brutally honest with God. Don't hide your pain. Don't sugarcoat your loneliness. Pour it out. Tell him it hurts. Tell him you feel forgotten. He already knows, but he wants to hear it from you. David didn't hold back in the Psalms. He brought his raw emotions to God. Do the same. Second, stay rooted in his word. Isolation can lead to spiritual starvation if you let it. Feed your soul daily. Let scripture remind you who you are and whose you are. Let his promises anchor you when everything else feels unstable. Third, pray like your life depends on it, because it does. Prayer is your lifeline in isolation. It's how you fight loneliness. It's how you maintain connection. Talk to him like he's in the room with you, because he is. And finally, trust the process. This season is temporary, but the transformation is permanent. God is doing something in you that requires this level of focus, this level of stripping away, this level of just you and him. Don't waste it. Embrace it. Closing, the promise waiting on the other side. When a man has no one but God, he's not abandoned, he's being forged. He's being refined in the fire. He's being prepared for a purpose bigger than he can see in the moment. Moses came out of the wilderness and led millions to freedom. David came out of the cave and became king. Jesus came out of the desert and changed the world forever. Your isolation isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. So if you're alone right now, don't run from it. Lean into it. Let God do what only He can do in the silence. Because when it's just you and Him, that's when everything changes. You're not alone. He's with you. And He's more than enough.